Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm cooking a dish that is very close to my heart, 酸辣菜饺, spicy and sour mustard green stew. These mustard greens need a good wash, especially the stems. There are usually quite a bit of soil trapped inside, so I wash them several times using only my hand. I tear them into large pieces and separate the stems from the leaf. Stems go in first layer, leaves last. I'm cutting the tomatoes into chunks. They will release natural juices during cooking and form part of the base for this stew. I'm using about 50 grams of dry tamarind peels. I weighed slightly more today, just 2 grams extra, which is totally fine for this dish. Here I'm using 15 grams of dry chillies since my kids will be enjoying this dish together. If you like it spicier, you can go all the way up to 40 grams. Rock sugars to balance the sourness and heat. This is roast duck I saved from yesterday. I froze it overnight and today is become the start of this dish. At this stage, I'm setting the pressure cooker to stew mode and starting to build the flavor base. I'm adding water, oyster sauce, abalone sauce, tomato ketchup, duck sauce, dry chilies, tamarind peels, and rock sugars. You will notice I'm using very little liquid here, and this is intentional. Mustard greens and tomatoes both release a lot of water during cooking, especially under pressure. As they soften, they naturally create the broth for this dish. On top of that, the duck meat, especially roast duck, will also release its own juices and fats, adding depth and richness to the stew. If we add too much water at the beginning, the flavor will become diluted. So, instead of forcing liquid in, I let the ingredients do the work for me. As the pot heats up, the pressure helps extract the sourness from the tamarind, the sweetness from the tomato and sugars, and the aroma from the dry chilies. This is also why I stack the ingredient instead of stirring. Everything slowly breaks down and mingles naturally during the cooking process. Give it a good stir, and the heat helps release the aroma immediately. You can smell the sour and spicy notes coming together. Here I'm taking a bit more time to layer the duck properly in the pot. I'm not just using duck meat, I'm also adding the duck head and the duck feet. Some people might find this unusual, but these parts are packed with flavor. The head and the feet release natural collagens as they cook, which give the stew a richer body and slightly silky mouthfeel. I like to arrange everything evenly so each part cooks at the same pace and absorb all that spicy and sour goodness from the sauce below. This is also a very traditional way of cooking. Nothing goes to waste and every part contributes something to the dish. Do you cook duck like this at home? Or do you usually use only meat and discard the rest? Let me know in the comment. I'm always curious how different families prepare their version of this dish. For me, this is the part where the stew really start to develop in depth. Once everything is layered, all we need is time and patience. As you can see, the tomato go in right on top of the duck. They are not just for flavor, they will slowly break down and releases their juices, forming part of the cooking liquid for this dish. After that, the mustard green stem go in. I add the stem first because they are thicker and need more time to soften. Lastly, the mustard green leaf go on top. They may look bulky now, but once the lid is closed, they will wilt down and releases even more moisture. That is why I'm using very little added liquid here. Most of the sauce will come naturally from the vegetables and the duck as they cook together. This is how I layer mine. How would you do it? Usually 30 minutes cooking is enough. I'm pressure cooking this for 1 hour because I'm using frozen duck and large amount of vegetables. I always heard some people say food from a pressure cooker is tasteless. I strongly disagree. After pressure cooking, I switch to high temperature saute mode. This step brings everything together and intensifies the flavor. Look at that! Everything's come together beautifully once it's layered. Simple ingredients, but when treated right, they created something really comforting and full of flavor. If you enjoy home-style dishes like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. It's really helped the channels and motivate me to keep sharing more family recipe with you. Simple ingredients, bold flavor, and dish that tastes even better the next day. Thank you for cooking with me. See you in the next video.